and the uneasy excitement of people who knew they were about to witness something unforgettable. The first ripple of entertainment began even before opening statements. When the masked fan, later identified as a young man whose devotion had apparently overridden all sense, managed to slip past Sicker. He had worn a towering feathered mask that engulfed his entire head. A creation so flamboyant it threatened to upstage Cardina herself. The judge into her first deep sigh of the day, and the audience into muffled laughter they attempted desperately to suppress. The second spectacle unfolded when the prosecution unveiled their most unusual piece of evidence. Exhibit F. A massive foam board paired with a speaker system dragged into the room like the world's least appropriate party setup. Reporters scribbled furiously, knowing they had struck gold. By midday, the third moment arrived in the form of spontaneous meltdown. The court stenographer, a seasoned veteran who had survived decades of legal chaos, finally reached her breaking point. The overlapping voices, the interruptions, the heated back-and-forths triggered an abrupt ceasefire as she raised her hands in surrender, proclaiming she genuinely could not record another word unless the universe gave her a moment to breathe. The room's reaction resembled the release of a tightly wound spring. Some laughed, others sighed, and the judge called for a recess with the resigned tone of a woman who had already begun questioning her career decisions. When the proceedings resumed, they fell directly into the fourth and perhaps most grotesquely memorable moment, the arrival of the frozen salad. The star witness, a woman who claimed to be the target of Cardina's alleged airborne food attack, triumphantly produced a plastic container holding what she insisted was the original salad preserved in her freezer for months to serve as proof. The courtroom recoiled in collective horror as the lid popped open slightly, releasing a faint but undeniable scent of time, will, and questionable judgment. The judge ordered its immediate removal, and even the bailiff, usually stone-faced, carried it away with arms fully extended, as though transporting hazardous waste. Once the stench had faded, the fifth entertaining moment took form in the strangest way possible, cross-examination that spiraled into a fashion critique. What began as a simple question about Cardina's whereabouts on the night of the incident turned into an unsolicited review of her own outfit, the prosecutor's tie, and the general lack of style in the courtroom. What was supposed to be a simple yes or no answer turned into a poetic eruption as Cardina rose from her seat and delivered a full minute of tightly structured, emotionally charged verse. The courtroom froze. Jurors sat in stunned admiration, the gallery leaned forward as though electrified, and the stenographer regained her earlier lost willpower, typing the lyrics with the intensity of a pianist at the climax of a concerto. The judge, and able to categorize what she had just witnessed. Called for recess in a tone that made clear she needed several moments of solitude to process the experience. As evening approached and the courthouse lights dimmed, the final image of the day formed outside the building. Cardina emerged to a swarm of fans and reporters, their voices colliding in a chaotic symphony. The masked fan from earlier waved his oversized feather creation high above the crowd, pleading for one more moment of her attention. And the strange beauty of a day in which justice, humor, and music collided in ways no one could have predicted.